Hello, Reddit? You chill? Oh, you're loading. Okay. What stuff do I normally do? Pretty much what I've been doing, in all honesty. I just mess around and hope for the best. Um. So this is Am I the Asshole? Which is a great subreddit that gives me lots of giggles. And wow, this is going up quick. This is basically like where people post stories and they ask you whether they're an asshole or whether they're in the right, and it's very funny because majority of the time they're just being an asshole. Um, hmm. Let's go top all time first. Some of these. Some of these sound like your ex used to read this. Is that a bad thing or a good thing? I don't want to trigger people. um, this one sounds funny. So good. Awesome. Am I the asshole for pretending to get fired when customers get a temper with me? I may need to employ, as it were, this tactic. Okay. I'm a high schooler with a weekend job at a coffee shop. My co-workers who work weekends are James, the owner's son, who goes to my school. He's a shift manager, but it's not a real formal thing. He's a friendly guy. Danielle, a college student who sometimes works weekends too. So sometimes customers will come in and just be angry about such little stuff. Ain't that the truth? Like literally blowing up about nothing. Karens. It's great. I don't know if they're in a bad mood already and looking for someone to take it out on or what, but it's a lot like how sad do you have to be a grown ass man taking your anger out on high school and college kids? Preach. So James and I were I almost said woking about. We were woking about. So James and I were joking about having a little fun with them and hopefully getting them off our backs. So one day I was at work and some guy was having a temper about how we don't make the coffee hot enough, which I couldn't do a thing about because I gave it to him right out of the machine. Oh my god, the amount of times I've had customers that do that. So James came in and was like, "Sir, is there a problem here?" And the guy started ranting at him too. So he was just like, "Okay, this is unacceptable. You're fired." I started acting real sad. Like, "No, please don't fire me. My family needs some money. I need this job, please." And he played up being a hard ass, telling me to take off my apron and leave. The angry guy started to backtrack. "No, it isn't that big a problem. You don't need to fire over it. I didn't mean it." Jim's like, "No, we pride ourselves on the best customer service." Of course, after all that drama, I still had my job. We were just acting. And we've done it a couple of times. Whenever a customer will lose their temper at Danielle or I, James will storm in and fire us. And almost every time, the person who had come in angry will apologise and say that they didn't mean it. It's kind of satisfying making people realise their actions might actually have consequences. Anyway, I was telling my friends from school about this, and a few of them thought it was a mean prank to let somebody go away thinking they gotten somebody who desperately needs somebody fired. Am I the asshole for this joke? Absolutely fucking not. No, you are not the asshole for that. That is amazing. McDonald's lawsuit. Oh my fucking god! Right, you've heard about that? The old lady that had like fifth-degree burns or whatever it was, like all down her legs, and like, have you seen the picture? Oh, I feel so bad for her. And McDonald's is just like, she can't sue them because they have that much money. They could just pay it off, and it's just. It's horrible. It's horrible. I hate it. I hate that. That poor old lady. So yeah, that I don't think you're the asshole for doing that. I'd love to be able to do that if my manager liked me enough. um. Am I the asshole for making a dad joke? No, I don't even need context for that. Hmm. Sorry, I've just read the title. This one's very much intrigued me. Initially, all she wanted was for them to pay her medical bills, but McDonald said no. Yeah, exactly. Like, and apparently it's happened multiple times. I feel so bad for her. I can't remember her name right now, but I saw her on Tumblr when I clicked the link. Like, they literally put, and Tumblr's not the site where people will put like disclaimer warning if you don't like seeing gruesome stuff, don't look at the pictures. But I clicked on it because I'm fine with gore and everything. But it made me so sad thinking that like this little old lady had just gone in for a coffee, and because McDonald's fucked up system, she ended up being permanently disfigured, like on her legs, and it fucks me up, man. The world sucks. But anyway, the stream should be happy. Am I the asshole for suggesting my 7-year-old name is New Stuffed Tiger Tick Biddies? I need to get into my reading voice kind of thing. Pretty much the title. My son wanted a stuffed tiger at the fair last night and said he had named him Tig. He asked me what its last name should be. I couldn't help myself and just instantly replied, Biddies. And I turned to my wife to share a smirk, but she was pissed and quickly suggested a few different names. But my son insisted that he liked Biddies, so now my tiger is Tig Biddies. My wife thinks it was completely inappropriate. I think it was a silly joke that went over his head and will have no negative ramifications. Nah, that's not an asshole move. That's amazing. I know you love you some Tig Biddies, Flamesies. That was great. I like that. Oh, you know what we should do? Wait, is Reddit 50/50 allowed? Is that allowed? No, okay, no Reddit is apparently allowed. Boo. The wife needs some comedy. Like, exactly. That was not no. That's not bad. That's not a bad thing. Hmm. This one sounds fun. And apparently it's been marked not the asshole by commenters. I think that's what that means. I think. So my son had a long distance girlfriend recently for about 2 years. She was great, a really nice girl, and we all loved her, welcomed her with open arms. She was flying here constantly to visit him like a weekend a month and didn't lift a finger to go visit her. That's a no-no straight away. Everybody must put in equal effort. I tried talking to him about it several times and told him he should really start looking into flying over to her instead of expecting her to do all the travelling. Amen. He said no, and my wife probably had something to do with it as she constantly told him she was afraid of him flying. I spoke to them both and said this girl is great for him. She was willing to move over to our country too, but said there was one condition, and that was he'd have to fly over to her country too, which is fair enough. He said no, he didn't want to fly or travel anywhere. My son was becoming lazier and lazier, eventually telling his GF and us that he was perfectly fine never travelling anywhere, including holidays. Last week he told us she'd dumped him. I went on her Facebook page, as we're still all friends. She wrote us an apology letter about how she's upset it didn't work out, but these things happen, so we're on good terms. And looks like she's with a new guy already. Me and my wife have no doubts she was seeing him while still in a relationship with my son. I confessed to them both that I actually agree with her decision, and he should have expected it. He did not treat her properly, and I hope he learned lessons for the next one because he needs to make more of an effort. I, yeah. I said he deserves it for his lack of effort in the relationship and for essentially just allowing this girl to spend all her money and time coming here all the time. Wife and son are very upset that I said this. Very, very upset. My wife says I'm being horrible. Am I the asshole? I stand by what I said. No. I'm gonna say no on that one. Hello, Blitzed Wolf. It's been a while. How you doing? The only way it was okay is if she got cheap flights and he didn't. Yeah, exactly. Equality is that's important in relationships. Everybody has to put in equal parts, and I think we all, or most of us, have probably had experiences in relationships that it's not equal, and it sucks. But at the time, you don't realize it, and after you break up, it's usually like a whole clarity moment, and you're like, oh. At least in I'm sorry, this one sounds interesting. Yeah, at least in my mind. At any rate. Link to original post. Okay. Am I the asshole for not sharing medical history before being pranked? No, if you didn't know you're being pranked, I guess. Ow. Hip pain. Need to stop sitting with legs crossed. What is happening with laptop? Did the stream just go funny then as well? Or was it just me? Usually the one traveling for relationships. Yeah, it sucks, man. It really sucks. Like, most of my friendships throughout my life has been me going to them and everything, and I have anxiety, man. Like, it's difficult enough as it is. Eh, not much you can do, to be fair. Okay, laptop, can you chill? No, I don't want to sign in. Piss off. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay, back to the story. Hi, I'm a schizophrenic. Started when I was 22 and will last till I die. I can't. I shouldn't sit cross-legged, but I can't sit any other way at the moment. I'm active in schizophrenic communities, go to groups, the works, but I'm fairly private about it to most people, to include friends. I think that means including friends. It's fairly common for people to think I'm erratic, eccentric, fucking as a brain work comes with the turf, due to some of my habits. Those habits include not going to parties or other places with lots of people, suddenly deciding not to do something. I have to be protective not to do it or go to certain things if I think a delusion might be coming on. Saying the occasional odd quip, normal schizophrenic stuff. Some people thought it'd be funny to make it seem like I might be going crazy as a group. They would individually wear something, so they're gaslighting you basically. Before I've even read this, I know they're gaslighting you. They would individually wear something silly like a wizard hat or dinosaur costume, T-Rex blow-up costume, to a group event or say something totally out of the ordinary and pretend like it was normal. Police like to track people like you, COVID is just a way to microchip you, etc. The Backstreet Boys reunion tour. These are very real, scary thoughts to me. I would ask members of the group if they had heard concerns about these conspiracies or weird garb from other members, but they all acted like they had hung out with that particular member that day and I hadn't been involved. I was really, really scared that this could have been a massive delusion morphing into a full psychosis, so I preemptively checked myself into a hospital to stop myself from potentially hurting myself or diving further into the rabbit hole, common in schizophrenic community. I was so scared my medication stopped working. No one heard from me for a few days while I was in the hospital, and when I checked out, I confided in one of them about what had happened. I got a really long apology explaining what had happened, and I blew up at them. I would have too, man. I've ignored attempts from the others trying to apologise and have no desire to talk with them again. Am I the asshole for not previously stating that I'm schizophrenic? No. No, because what they were doing wasn't a prank, it was gaslighting. And as somebody who disassociates, it can be difficult. Like, you see online people trying to say that we're all in a simulation or you're in a coma and somebody's trying to wake you up, and it can really affect you. Which is why there's a lot of posts going around, especially at the moment with everything going on, saying like, you're not in a coma, I'm a real person, I'm writing this. There's no way your brain could come up with that extensive an illusion and everything. You're perfectly fine. And God bless those posts, honestly, but I feel like I should be a disclaimer that the travel's like 1 hour 30 driving and 40-minute flights, and not that much. Fair. I mean, I like traveling. I do get car sick, which I understand isn't, for fuck's sake, come on, which I understand isn't fully a thing in America, because like you drive everywhere all the time. But oh my god, I'm fucking freaking out now. Here we go. Okay, right. Yay. Oh. Now my fucking headphones are stuck under my thing. For fuck's... I'm literally gonna... We're good. We're good. We're good. We're good. Sorry. Oh my god. I'm gonna put my phone over this side now, so I'm probably gonna be constantly looking over here for it, but... Okay. You're not the asshole for that. People gaslighting you is not a prank. It's ridiculous. Edit. People have been saying to post the length of the prank around 3 weeks. Edit 2. Thank you for the awards and stuff, but I really want to highlight some of the messages I've gotten. I'm at around 150 messages and counting, and trying to respond to the ones where I can hopefully offer insight. There's a link to resources. For groups, just Google schizophrenia support groups in my area. Something will pop up, and when you actually get there, someone will have a further list. You get what you put into groups. You don't have to talk your first couple of times, but no one will look at you with the batshit look if you say, reality check, is there a bird in the room, or something in that regard. That did happen once, and the audible sigh of relief from 8 other people and the laughter that followed was hysterical. Medication helps so much. It's the difference between being able to go for a walk with my dog and staying in bed all day, but it takes time. So many people have asked what drug and dosage a loved one should go on. I cannot answer that. There are so many drugs out there and different dosages. That's the same for all mental things like anxiety, depression, all that shit. It depends fully on the person. Don't ask people just because they've got it what medication you should be on, because it could be entirely different. Like, be very careful with medication. Shit, I'm still reconnecting back to chat. Come on. Sorry if I missed anybody's messages. My Twitch is being really strange right now. Am I still live? Welcome to Cable Problems with Ezra. Shit. Am I still live? Brain chemistry is a bit complicated, yes. Yes, it is. It is. Blip. Still live. Must be my app then. Just give me a minute to... Hey, I got your whisper. My phone's having a little nap. Well, won't surprise me. No, I don't want the video. Just... Hey, there we go. Hey, I'm back. Yay. Sorry about that. We're back. But yeah, no, you're not the asshole for that. 100%. So there's an update. Life is going phenomenally. I axed the friend group and have since been kicking butt. Nice. I realised that if my close friend group was consistently putting me down and taking advantage of me, who else could be? The biggest answer was myself. I stopped doing things I enjoyed to invest in people that took joy in hurting me. Turns out I went so much deeper than gaslighting. I'm proud of you, dude. I'm so happy for you. I got 2 new hobbies, woodworking and brewing. Nice. I absolutely love them both and have made friends in those communities. I started cooking instead of takeout. Always good for mental health and stuff. Like, if you're having takeout every day, it does shit to your brain. Look at Nick Ricardo, like we did earlier. And I met the woman who is now my girlfriend at the local store, and we do most things together now. I realised my job had been taking a huge advantage over me. I worked significantly harder and longer hours for less pay than the employees under me. Fuck that, dude. After I transitioned to taking better care of myself, I constantly created a resume. Guess who's back? Back again. Sorry, I thought my phone was like flashing up with this stuff, but I've got no notifications. That was really weird. Got a new job in higher management for significantly more pay. I'm also going to buy a house this December with a yard and my dog and I. Oh, nice. Nothing big, just a nice 1 bedroom with a large yard for my buddy and I to play fetch in. Oh, that's so nice. Yeah, no, you're not the asshole for that. I know I have, or I had, other Reddit stuff. I've got no sleep. There was other Reddits that I was interested in looking at, but I can't remember what they are now. Okay, we could check out Reddit 50/50, or we could check out spooky ones. Or we could look at like funny ones. I don't know. I don't know. Usually when I see Am I the Asshole, it's usually like massive assholes, like dickheads, but yeah, see that's the issue with Reddit 50/50. Like I that'd have to be for YouTube, I think, because I'd have to have it censored. Just in case. And I wouldn't know how to do that for stream. It's like nudity, gore, all that good stuff. Well, the gore's fine. The nudity, not so much. Fuck off. I'm just looking at the related ones on the ones I've got open. Just for a second. Oh, does this? Yeah, they do. Fuck off. Right. I know you guys probably can't see that, but I'm just gonna hide it anyway while I log in because it keeps on coming up with my login shit, and it's really starting to annoy me. Yeah, it can be a bit bigger than that. Yeah, so we've got Let's Not Me. We've got loads of related subreddits. We've also got No Sleep, which is scary stories. Ooh, fucking hell. I don't know if there's anything specific people want to see, or if people just think we should call it for the night because it is 12:30, and I've been at this for a long time. Yeah. Let's Not Me is definitely more real, like terrifying. I love them. So good. Let's go newest. Well, laptop, will you work? Jesus Christ. Sorry. Okay. I don't know how long these ones are. Oh, that's a big wall of text. Nope. Sorry. Hmm. I like the idea of Stoner's intuition. We're gonna read this one. Okay. So this is called Stoner's Intuition. Also, subreddit for perusing at your leisure. Not sure if it'd work on the stream. Cats who trill. Oh, 8-hour stream. I should have made it a charity stream, shouldn't I? That's the thing. I could literally stream for like 12 hours, and it doesn't even have to be a charity stream. So maybe I should make the next one a charity stream or something. Stoner's Intuition by Victorious Vixen X. As a wild teenager, I had my fair share of lucky misses. This one in particular scared me to my core. I was at my friend's house one evening. We were getting stoned and drinking. You know, stupid teenage stuff. I was wearing a white miniskirt, a glittery halter top, and knee-high white heel boots. Yes, I was that girl. At around 12 a.m., I knew I had to be home, but there was no one sober enough to drive me. I asked my friend for a hoodie and some pants, and then I decided to walk the 30-plus minutes to my house alone. I had done this walk so many, many times that it felt safe enough to do so, except I hadn't done it at midnight, alone. That's always the way, isn't it? In the first 10 minutes, I passed the main intersection with no issues, and as I'm about to walk around the corner, the main road into my area, a large green van pulls up beside me. Hell no. Me being stoned and paranoid, my fingers automatically dial 111, New Zealand's police number. As I dialed the police, a young Islander man jumped out of the passenger seat and yelled at me to get in the van. At this very moment, I had my phone to my ear, and the operator picked up and asked, "Fire, ambulance, or police?" I replied, "Police, please." "Police, please." Upon hearing this, the young man jumped back into the van and they sped off down the road. The fuck, dude? I continued to tell the operator a man had just tried to get me into his van and that I was stoned walking home. I ended the phone call because I knew I needed to keep my battery from dying, so I still had 20 plus minutes to go before I reached my house. At this point, I'm terrified, and my stoner's paranoia is at its all-time high. I'm not surprised. I mean, at an all-time high. This is a long, straight road with only 2 bends in it. However, you can see most of the road from anywhere on the footpath. After the van incident, I started to jump into driveways and hide behind bushes whenever I saw headlights. I would too, to be fair. Like, you don't know if they're coming back or not. After doing this consistently for about 15 minutes, I started noticing a white sedan had passed at least 3 times. Thinking I must be seeing things, I continued to hide whenever I see headlights and made my way closer and closer to my street. I finally reached the empty paddock and opposite the primary school, and I saw headlights again. Thinking on my feet, I quickly jumped over the 6-foot fence into the open paddock. There was a massive tree in the middle of the paddock, so I ran and hid behind the tree. A minute or so later, the white Toyota sedan pulled over directly in front of the paddock fence, and out jumped 5 full-grown men. And the rest of the story isn't loading. I want to know. Show me. I need to know. Retry. Please. Oh, there we go. There we go. 5 full-grown men. The first thing they said was, "Where is she? Where is she?" They started searching the streets for me and were peering over the fence into the paddock. What the Oh no. Damn it, Reddit. Panicked and absolutely shitting myself, I dialed the police. Once I got the operator, I just kept repeating my name, address, and current location. The operator finally calmed me down enough to ask me what was happening. I told her 5 men in a white sedan out on the street were searching for me as if they wanted to kidnap me. I knew they were looking for me, as I was the only person walking the street at that time. She told me the police were on their way and to remain hidden. Finally, I heard the police sirens, what felt like an eternity later, but it was probably about 5 minutes. They drove straight past the men, and they all scattered back in the car and fled. By this time, I'm pretty sure I nearly wet myself. I would have too, don't worry. And I'm bawling my eyes out to the operator, saying they drove straight past. Suddenly, I hear a man saying, "Hello, excuse me, girl, are you okay?" I went silent. The man said, "Were those men looking for you? I live across the street and I could hear you crying." I peered out from behind the tree and I would have just sat there. I would have been too scared. I would have thought that it was them tricking me or something. I peered out from behind the tree and said, "Yes, are they gone now?" He said, "Yeah, when the police went past, they fled." He then offered to take me to his house and keep me safe until the police came. So I hung up on the operator and climbed the fence and went into this guy's garage. He was a lovely guy, was just working on his car in the garage, a few doors down from the paddock. He offered me a warm drink and a cigarette to calm my nerves. After 10 minutes, it became evident the police weren't coming, so he dropped me home. At that age, I was young, dumb, and I definitely would have gotten kidnapped if I wasn't a paranoid stoner with a true crime passion. Stay weird, be safe, and happy holidays. S. That was awesome. I mean, that was terrifying, first of all. Holy shit. But see, we don't always bad. That was awesome. I like that one. I'm gonna give that an up rating now that I'm signed in. Oh, creepy. Do people want me to read the names of the stories? I know you can see it on the stream, but you might just be listening, and I'm gonna upload this to YouTube later. Do you think it'd be better to read the names of the stories, or does that give too much away? I don't know. My old boss has stalked me since I quit. Posted by Just K Bruh. So for a little background here, I've played the drums for 11 years of my life, so I've gotten pretty decent at marching percussion and playing the drum set. I'm currently a college student who obviously needs money, so I took up 2 jobs that had to do with teaching drums to kids. The first job, which I only recently left because of the pandemic, the Backstreet Boys reunion tour, was an amazing opportunity at school district to be a part-time music teacher. I love that job. This story has to do with the other music job I took up, which was at a non-profit that I don't want to name for legal reasons that resides in my hometown. So at this non-profit, there are 2 main coordinators in charge who happen to be an older married couple. The husband was in charge of the science and art side of the facility, while the wife, Bernice, was in charge of the music side of the facility. So she was in all aspects my boss and also one of the piano teachers. I taught drum set with a high school friend of mine named Jay. There was a guitar teacher who I was also friends with named Ray and an elderly piano teacher named Marie. So that was the entire music department at the faculty. I didn't check how long this was. I started the job when the last drum set teacher suddenly left to pursue his dream career in the Bay Area. Bernice really needed me to start immediately, so I did, but during my interview she had been very nice and cordial, but I sometimes noticed how rude she was to other employees. Most of the people working on the science side were merely high school students, and one of them may forget the small thing, like forgetting to put a screwdriver back where it belonged, and she would degrade them. She would say things like, How will you keep a job if you can't do simple things like this? Are you even using your brain? I shall fire you for this kind of incompetency, but I won't because I'm a nice person. What an asshole. I thought we weren't on the Am I an asshole subreddit anymore. Fucking hell. Yes, for reading the titles. Awesome. Thank you, Flamesies. I would see this kind of stuff go down, and I could never say anything because honestly, I really didn't think it was my business, and I didn't want to get yelled at either. I was also briefly. I will also briefly explain that she also revealed that she was very religious and homophobic, and I was very obviously not straight. Okay, warning for homophobia. I tried to ignore these outbursts, but they started to get to me. I would try to talk to those kids afterwards and reassure them they could only do their best and that it should be good enough. A few months into the job, I even tried to talk to her about it, but that was a huge mistake. I said that maybe she shouldn't be so hard on them since they're still just kids. She had been cheerful and smiling, but once I finished that sentence, she got quiet. Her expression went black and her eyes turned cold. If looks could kill, I'm sure I would be very dead. After a few seconds of silence, she suddenly yelled, "Mind your business. Those ungrateful brats need to learn their place, and so do you." What the fuck, woman? Sorry, I've got a really itchy nose right now, and I don't know why. Like, fucking hell. And now the back of my head started twitching. Brilliant. I was absolutely stunned. I had no words. I'd never been yelled at like that by a boss in any of my jobs before, so it really just shook me. I just sat there. Oh, that's. I'm not going to grammar correct. I just sat there with what I'm guessing was a look of shock. She then immediately went back to smiling and simply said, "I think you have a lesson with little Timmy in 5 minutes, don't you? Better get ready for it." She said it with a fucking smile on her face, like, what the hell? I just got up and got ready for my next lesson. After that, I began to get yelled at by her pretty much every week for the smallest thing. Maybe if I finished a lesson a minute early or I forgot to fill in my timesheet right away. I endured months of this until finally I had enough. I lasted a year and a half until I finally quit. When I quit, she encouraged me to call or text any time, which seems so odd considering she yelled at me every day for the last week I worked. I thanked her for the opportunity she gave me and left without incident, or at least I thought it was without incident. Da, da, da. Before I left my position, I recommended to a parent to have their kid. Sorry, let me start that again. Before I left my position, I remembered. Fucking Ezra's losing it. Ezra's losing it. Before I left my position, I'm going to take a drink just so that I can clear my throat out a bit and try to get my brain to work. Okay. Before I left my position, I recommended to a parent to have their kid get lessons from a friend of mine because her son was an absolute musical prodigy who needed more intense training to grow as a musician. She found me and I connected them, and he is actually still getting lessons with. So there was a random comma. For God's sake. She thanked me and I connected them, and he is still getting lessons with my friend, and I get occasional videos of his progress, as I'm just so proud of him. Only 10 and he can outplay me easily on drum set. However, the mother of the student accidentally told Bernice the reason why her son was leaving the non-profit and said that I had recommended it. That happened in the middle of January 2020. By the end of January, my email box had been flooded with emails from Bernice. They ranged from her needing me to come back to sign a form to obviously being mad about recommending the student leave the non-profit. Every day there were at least 10 emails, and on bad days there were upwards of 30 emails. Fucking hell, dude. I blocked her email after 2 weeks because I knew it just wasn't going to stop, and I finally had some relief. Then I noticed she tried to friend me on Facebook and follow me on Instagram. When I blocked these accounts, it was her husband accounts that tried. I then blocked those as well. She tried it again and used the non-profit social media pages to follow me. Fucking hell, dude. This shit scares me though, because you never know who's gonna do this shit. Like, you know what I mean? It's creepy. I had no idea why she was being so persistent, and I had no idea why she was being so persistent and did not know what to do. It seemed to calm down, so I thought she gave up, but a week later I had random accounts trying to follow me on all my social media. I asked my friends that I had worked with if they could see her doing this while she was in the office. So Jay and Ray went into the office when she had a lesson and looked on her monitor, and there were a bunch of tabs open. They sent me snaps of what they found, and all these tabs were the different faceless accounts on Facebook and Instagram that had been attempting to follow me. They closed them all out, and when she asked about it, they feigned ignorance and said they had been looking for sheet music and the tabs had accidentally been closed. They said she looked super pissed, but then suddenly asked them if they had me on social media, and they just said they didn't know and tried to walk out. Before they walked out, she asked them if they would tell her what lies I had told them, and they said she didn't know what she was talking about. She got even more pissed and yelled at them to stop acting stupid and to tell the truth, and they again told her that I never said anything about her or the non-profit. She suddenly went on a whole tangent about how I was going to steal all the students and the non-profit would have to shut down. Fucking hell, dude. Sorry, my mouth's going really dry. Anyone could be a stalking maniac. Yeah, exactly. It's creepy. Okay. Fucking dry mouth, man. So the worst thing is I get a dry mouth, but I also like when I talk a lot or when I sing specifically, I get a lot of saliva. I know that sounds gross, but it's hard to get rid of while you're trying to talk. From here, she never spoke to them again about it, but after this, I did notice I started seeing her wherever I went to Walmart in town to get groceries and such. I'm telling you, 8 times out of 10 that I would go, she would be there. She never spoke a word to me, but she always just kind of lurked. One day, my younger sister said Bernice spoke to her while she was at a McDonald's inside the Walmart when we went after school to grab food with friends. Luckily, my sister knew who she was, so she knew not to give any information to her when she asked if she was my little sister and how I was doing. My sister kindly said she didn't know who she was and didn't feel comfortable talking to her, and then proceeded to ignore her. Bernice just smiled and then left, but my sister called me shortly afterwards and asked to be picked up from Walmart because she rightfully felt super uncomfortable. I sped over from my college and got there within 15 minutes, and she ran out and got in my car and we sped off. As I left the parking lot, I could see Bernice's car had pulled out of a space and was following us. Fucking hell. This shit scares me, dude. I knew it was her car because I had seen it every time I went to work, and it had a logo for the non-profit on the side of it, so it was hard to miss. I realised she'd been waiting in that spot to either follow my sister back to school, or in this case, follow me who had picked her up. What the fuck is wrong with people? I drove a bright red Honda Civic, so it's pretty easy to see even from a distance. So I knew I had to lose this crazy lady because I had no idea what her intentions were. See, that's the thing, like, what's she gonna do? Like, what the fuck? Like, at that point, like, the worst case scenario is running through your head, you know? Like, it would be through mine anyway. So I decided to take some side street and drive all kinds of random ways through our town, and then I even got on the highway that takes you to the closest major city and then got off a random country road. It was insane, because this woman was persistent as hell. She caught up and kept up with me until I got to the highway. Once I got on, I easily was doing 80 to 90 miles per hour and weaving in and out of traffic. To lose her, and eventually I did. I then parked in between some orchards off one of the country roads I took. My sister had been on the phone with our mum the entire time, who then proceeded to let our town's police know. We got on the phone with them and they told us to drive to the police station and there would be someone waiting to help us. So I may talking about bloopers from earlier, Jesus fucking Christ. So I made my way back to town while constantly checking my mirrors for Bernice. We made it and I gave a statement and they made a report and then asked me to describe the car. I said it was a burgundy SUV with the non-profits logo on the side. They said it should be easy to find and they went straight to the non-profit to find her. Sadly, Bernice had an alibi waiting for them when she got there. She showed them the She showed. Fucking. I hate having a lisp sometimes. So where's S's? Speaky English hard at almost 1 a.m. It's hard for me in general, but yes, even harder at 1 a.m. Fucking hell. She showed them the security footage at the front of the facility, and the burgundy SUV with the logo had been sitting in its spot since she opened, so there was no way she could have followed me, according to the police. They said there was nothing more they could do, and it was left at that, but I knew what I had seen. It was messing with my mind for days until finally I got my answer on how the hell she pulled off that stunt. Jay informed me 2 weeks later that Bernie had announced that they had been. Jay informed me 2 weeks later that Bernice had announced that they had bought an identical SUV with the logo and everything for the non-profit. I was stunned. It was the same make, model, and colour of the other SUV. Even the license plates were almost identical, only having 2 digits differ from the original SUV's plate. Bernice played the cops into thinking I'd just had an overactive imagination. She knew exactly what she was doing. I was just so frustrated by this point. Eventually, I emailed her and told her to stay away from my family. Eventually, I emailed her and told. Fucking. We're almost at the end. I thought I could make it. Yes, that was my hip that just clicked, by the way. Okay. Okay. Eventually, I emailed her and told her to stay away from my family and I because I was never going to be talking to her again, and clarified that I had no intention of taking any students from her. Hell, I'm not even a goddamn music major, so why would I even want to continue doing anything music oriented? Her reply was almost instantaneous. Sounds good, dear. You take care now, and be sure to tell your sister that I said hi. Bernice, I really hope we never meet again. That was fucking. Oh my god, no. Just the way she just dropped it. Thank you, Addie. I managed it. Just the way she fucking dropped it at the end, and then she was like, "Tell your sister I say hi." No, you don't. Oh my god, that's terrifying. I hate that. See, those ones scare me because it's so real. It's like not a stranger that just suddenly started stalking her. It was like just somebody, some crazy old fucking woman. Fucking hell. Right, I think we'll do big nope energy. Yeah, exactly. I don't know if my mum's home yet, and it's 10 to 1. It's a bit worrying. Just gonna message her. Just to make sure. She's probably just sat downstairs on her phone watching TV. Out partying? Nah, she's at work. She works nights. Well, she works evenings from like 4 till 5 till 12 or something like that. So she gets home about 12:30 usually. Yeah, there's the Backstreet Boys reunion. Nah, she's at work. Yeah, she works evenings, I work mornings, very early mornings. 4 a.m. till like 12 midday. Yeah, it's difficult. I mean, we'll keep going until she messages me, I guess. It's just a bit worrying that she's not. If she isn't back yet, because she usually says hi, but she might have heard that I was streaming and actually listened to me for once when I said don't don't say things when I'm streaming. This one sounds creepy. Another reason not to use TikTok. Guy in the background of my TikTok video finds it and messages me. Posted by Euphoric Fondant 792. I like that username, Euphoric Fondant. Ooh, nice. Wait, OC? Does that mean... Oh, original content. Oh. Wait, what does that mean? Does that mean that it's made up? Does that mean it's made up? Yeah, she just got home. Ah, that's late. It's Christmas, though. It's insane round there at the moment. Gonna go do the sleep. It's been fun and nice to meet you, Addie. Enjoy the rest of your stream. Thank you, Flamesies. I think I might be stopping after one more. Yeah, see you later, Flamesies. I don't know whether OC means that it's fake. Hop on Twitch Sings, nice. I will probably be going to sleep. I have to wrap my brother's presents for him tomorrow. It's Christmas in like 2 days. Well, today technically, because it's like 1 o'clock in the morning. But have fun, man. Honestly, I'll read it and pretend it's real, even if it's not. That works, right? To give you some context, I'm a 14-year-old girl, and ever since I downloaded TikTok, me and my friends spent our free time making dancing videos for our TikTok accounts. One day we were hanging out at the mall and we were all doing the renegade dance in front of my phone that was recording. After we're done, I pick up my phone and watch the TikTok. In the video, though, I noticed a guy in the background. He looks to be about our age, maybe slightly older. Keep in mind we're in a public setting, so it wasn't uncommon to get scares from other people passing by. Though this guy wasn't walking by, but more so standing still and sort of blankly staring at us. We all notice him, and one of my friends jokingly makes fun of him for being creepy, while another one of my friends thinks he's kind of cute. All in all, we thought nothing of it. I looked behind to see if he's still there, but he was gone. A couple weeks go by, and I get a direct message from a guy named Greg on TikTok. The message said, "Hey, just noticed I was in your latest TikTok. I feel honoured." I clicked on his profile and noticed that indeed it was the guy who was staring at us in my TikTok video. We sort of went about chatting, and I actually find him to be pretty funny. A couple of days go past, and he asked me for my Snapchat. We text some more in messages, and eventually he asked me out to go get some coffee sometime. He was kind of cute and, well, charming over text, so I accepted. The day comes and we meet at Starbucks. When I see him, I immediately notice he's extremely nervous. For example, when I asked him how he was doing, he just kind of replied with one-word answers, and he kept acting like this for the entire date. I decided to break the ice by telling him he's pretty smooth over text, to which he replies that his older brother helps him out with girls. Then he just kind of falls flat again. There was a lot of long, silent pauses, and it was kind of starting to get a little awkward for me. I felt bad for him, but at the same time, I didn't know what to say. Eventually, he excuses himself to the restroom. That's when I start to hear faint banging coming from the men's restroom. It was like something banging on the wall repeatedly. Now, the Starbucks was pretty empty, so I'm 90% sure the banging came from him. Then the banging stops, and a couple of minutes later, Greg comes out. I notice his forehead is red for some reason. Was he banging his head against the wall? That's when I decided something's off about him. I tell him I need to head home by making up some dumb excuse. We told each other goodbye, and that's when I decided to end it with him. As soon as I got home, I got on my phone. I see a bunch of notifications coming from TikTok, so I open the app and see that he's liked all of my TikTok posts. All the likes coming from about 30 minutes ago, meaning he was probably liking my pictures while he was in the restroom, given that I didn't see him on his phone when he was with me. Fucking hell, dude. Need to wrap some presents. Nice. I'm only doing it because my brother's asked me to. He should have asked me last week when I was doing everyone else's. This creeps me out to a whole new level. Then I open my messages on Snapchat and he tells me he had a really great time talking to me. This was obviously out of place for him to say because he barely said a word. Something was definitely fishy about this whole thing. The way he was texting did not at all match how it was in real life. Either he's just super shy in person or his brother's giving him all the hints on how to flirt on text. I decide to leave him on red. Immediately after, though, he messages me asking if I had just left him on red. I decide not to open the message to not aggregate. I decided not to open the message to not aggregate things. Agitate? Aggregate? Aggregate? But that's when things got disturbing. A couple minutes later, I get a strange message from him saying, "Why are you making me do this?" I instantly replied to his message, asking him doing what and if he was okay. From that, I didn't get any response from Greg anymore. At this point, I was a little concerned. I was thinking back to the fact that he might have been banging his head out of frustration when we were in Starbucks. I decided to call him, but no answer. I had no way of reaching him. I didn't know where he lived, so I was stuck. I regret leaving him on red, but figure he's probably fine and just doing this to get a response. The message was also ambiguous, so it was unclear whether it implied self-harm or not. Either way, there was nothing I could do to reach him, so I just decided to let it go and hopefully wait for a response the day after. The next morning, I checked Snapchat and noticed he had left me on red. I was relieved now that he was either over me leaving him on red or just making a point. A couple weeks passed and things were pretty uneventful. That was until one night. It was around 11 p.m. and I was staying up late studying in my room. I was really thirsty, so I decided to go downstairs to get some water. As I'm in the kitchen, I get a drink and get ready to head back up the stairs. That's when I hear a chain move from the deck outside. It's a noise I recognize because I hear it all the time when my parents are outside moving the chairs. But this time, it was really sudden and loud. I decided to go investigate, as maybe a deer or something hit one of the chairs and they were making their way in my backyard, although I didn't think that in the back of my mind. I open the sliding glass door to the deck area and just kind of look around. It's pitch black, so I can barely make out the chairs. I decide to turn on the lights, and that's when I see it. It was Greg's face, sort of hidden in the bushes. I get a mini heart attack, but in the moment I somehow freeze and sort of looked to the side so that he didn't notice me realize he'd been hiding. I look around for a couple more seconds to make it seem like I didn't see anything unusual before turning the lights back off, going back inside and locking the door behind me. I somehow managed to make it like I calmly got my drink from the kitchen counter and went back to my room. I locked my bedroom door and immediately called 911. The operator tells me they sent a police car on the way. I know all our doors downstairs are locked, but just in case, while I'm waiting, I try to listen as carefully as I can to any noise coming from outside or downstairs. Luckily, the police came and found him. Upon taking with them, oh, upon talking with them, they said they found him in the backyard trying to escape by climbing the fence before getting tased for not cooperating with the cops. He was apparently placed in some sort of mental institution to get the help. I'm glad Greg now receives the help he needs, but most importantly, that me and my family made it out safe. Damn, son. See, I mean, back when we could meet up with people online, I have a rule that if you are meeting up with anybody from online, you take somebody with you. I don't care if it's your first time meeting them and they think you're weird. You take somebody with you. That's getting a like. And you tell the person, I am bringing somebody with me, and if they're not okay with that, don't meet up with them. Simple as. I'm sorry, but that's just... Anyway, yeah, I think we might leave it there for today. That was a long ass stream. Sorry, I've sort of been slouching over this whole time. It's probably not good. For me, for anyone. Yeah, even meeting in public is kind of weird. Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. If I meet somebody, I meet in public and with at least one friend. And I tell them, you can bring a friend too if you want to. Most of my friends are guys, so I make sure to bring a guy mate with me. And I'm like, look, I'm friends with guys. If you're not okay with it, I'm not gonna meet up with a random person from the internet alone. sites don't vet people, like, and somebody this young as well, like, shouldn't be having TikTok or Snapchat or anything like that. Like, I don't know, I think it's just weird. But yeah, I think I'm going to leave it there for today. Thank you for joining me though, Addy. Like, that was like awesome of you to stay for the whole stream. Like, most people get annoyed after 2 minutes and just leave. I probably won't be streaming again till after Christmas now. After the holidays. Might stream again next week before New Year's though. I might do a New Year's stream as well because the plans to have a party have been cancelled. He was having fun, really. Thank you. I honestly, like, most of the people that watch these streams are my friends, like, but thank you. Thank you for this. Oh, thank you. Thank you for the follow and for joining me for this long. Honestly, it was awesome. I don't know what else to say. Hopefully you didn't. No, you didn't annoy me. You didn't annoy me at all. Honestly, it's nice having people to chat with. But yeah, I'm gonna head off because I'm tired. But I hope you can join me for the next one, and if not, like the one after that or whatever. We'll have to see. I don't really have like a full schedule at the moment, which is kind of annoying. So I need to. I was doing it every Thursday, but now it's like it's weird. Like it's hard to do it like every single week, like on a specific day, because I've got like commissions and work and all that good stuff. So yeah, but thank you for joining. I'm just gonna say this for the people that are still watching on YouTube, even if they're not watching anymore. Subscribe, like, comment, all that stuff that I hate asking. All the links are in the description below for my social media. All of it. Most of it's just I'm the Derpy Fox, though. Let's be honest. So yeah, thank you for joining. Thank you for watching. I'm going to bed. Well, I'm not. I'm gonna probably go on my DS for a bit and then watch some YouTube videos and hopefully I can fall asleep eventually. But yeah, thank you. See you later. Bye.